Now, having heard all that, having heard the jury verdict, 34 counts of guilty of a former president, it was an amazing outcome. Do you think, as you sit here today, that Trump has been held sufficiently accountable for the crime he was charged with committed in Manhattan?
Definitely not sufficiently accountable. But where I differ from people is that if the trial had been televised, which it should have been, everybody would have seen daily small d Democratic accountability, moments of Democratic accountability.
And you bore witness to that.
I did. So 8 times a day, the jurors would come in and out, and this overweight president would kind of struggle to his feet to honor them. I was inspired by those moments. You know, this wouldn't happen in any of the strongman regimes that Trump admires. You wouldn't see like Vladimir Putin like struggling to his feet to honor ordinary Russians as they come in and out of the courtroom and have his fate in their hands. So yes, ultimately it's the sentence that's the real accountability. But you know, when the judge held him in contempt and fined him, that was a moment of accountability. And when, you know, I looked at him after that jury foreperson said guilty, guilty, guilty 34 times, and he looked like he'd been punched in the solar plexus as he walked up the aisle past me. And then he gets outside, he puts on his game face. But the idea that this didn't take something out of him, not true. And everybody would have seen it if they had been in that courtroom. Or another time, the judge admonishes him, don't snicker in the presence of the jury. Sit down, Mr. Trump. Those are moments of accountability that were very dramatic when you would see them. Or he threatened him with jail time if he reoffended on violating the gag order. And Trump didn't want to squat over a low toilet and sleep under a low thread count sheet. So he cleaned up his act and he didn't reoffend. And that's a moment of accountability. And this was a very dramatic trial. And it's just, I think if it had been televised, I think it would have been hard for him to be reelected.